Hello traders, it's October and we got another video for you. Hello traders, I'm Simon from FTMO, and if you are new here, what we are doing is that we are providing initial balance to experienced traders. And as you can tell, we are gonna look at FTMO challenges and verifications. So right here I got 3 FTMO challenges and 3 verification accounts, so let's look at them. This is the first account that we are gonna look at. As you can see, this is for $200,000 on swing account type. The growth here is pretty steady. There isn't insane amount of positions executed, which is okay with us. Neither are here any huge dips or spikes, which is also very good. Now, this trader took 15 trading days to finish this FTMO challenge, so that is just fine. He didn't really rush through things, so that's always nice to see. Max daily loss is not really that close to being breached. He or she still had like $2,000 left to not breach it. Max loss is not an issue as well, and profit target is pretty standard here. As I already said, this account executed just 26 trades, which is fine. And using volume of 175 lots, the win rate is nice 61%, and average risk reward ratio is really high, it's 7.3. So this average risk reward ratio is something that I really like here. You know, even if you have a somewhat lower win rate, it's fine as long as you have really high average risk reward ratio, and that's clearly the case here. Even if win rate is around 20-30%, if the average risk reward ratio compensates for that, it's not an issue. Regarding the daily summary, most of the profits are actually made in the second half of the trading period. In the first half of the trading period, this trader held back for some reason. There was just like one day where it was somewhat interesting, but other than that, they didn't really trade a whole lot. In the trading journal, we can see many forex pairs being traded here. There is one position on Bitcoin. I don't know really how important it is for this trader, but clearly it's just one position. But of course, this is just one of the 2 pages of the trading journal, so we don't know how much of the profits were made on this. And as I already said, this is a swing account type, so some swaps are being paid here, for example, on these 3 positions. On the other hand, there is a swap being paid out to the trader right here. When we scroll down here, most profits are clearly made on selling. On buying as well, there is net profit on buying, but this is quarter of this amount, and the single most profitable instrument right here is Euro Japanese yen. Other than that, there are some more forex pairs. These aren't really that relevant, but you know, it's nice that this trader isn't losing on any single particular instrument. So this account is really nice, it's really consistent, really nice average risk reward ratio right here, just awesome. This is the second account that we are going to look at. This time it's FTMO account type, so it's not a swing account, but this is for $200,000 as well. And the curve is a little bit different in the beginning. So trade number 1 wasn't as successful, but clearly this is not an issue here. Other than that, it's a curve that goes straight up. And after trade 45, this trader finished this FTMO challenge. This time it took 10 trading days. Max daily loss is even better than previously, and so is max loss, and profit target is pretty standard. So 45 trades using similar volume actually as the previous account. The win rate is quite high, it's 82%, but the average risk reward ratio is not as great, it's under 1. Of course, this together still works, clearly because this trader passed the FTMO challenge, but yeah, there is room to improve this average risk reward ratio. Now, when we look at the daily summary, once again, most profits I think are stacked near the end of the trading period. But in this case, there are significant profits stacked in the beginning as well. So actually, this is more even than the last account, which is very good. What I really like here is that this trader is specialized on trading gold, as you can see, not really using those stop losses and take profits as much as he can. And the volume per one position is pretty similar. It's usually, well, interestingly enough, is 3, then it's 4, and then it's 5. So he is steadily increasing the volume per position. And this is good because this trader clearly knows how to manage the risks, even if he or she is not using those stop losses and take profits. Managing risks by scaling the volume perhaps works for this trader. Selling and buying are both profitable here. Those are even more balanced here than on the previous account, and truly there is clear specialization on gold, which is very nice. These are not really significant, but you can clearly see that this trader is not trading a whole lot of forex or crypto. Some indices as well, but mostly gold. So this is very nice account with a specialization on gold, which is something that I like. So I wish this trader good luck on the verification. This is the last FTMO challenge that we are gonna look at before we are gonna delve into verifications. So this one is more interesting because you can see that this chart is clearly different from the previous two. It's not just a straight curve up. This is on swing account type for $50,000. And pretty much you can see that there is a dip in the beginning of the trading period, which is not really that fortunate. Of course, this also affects your psychology, which is really not good. But luckily, this trader successfully got out of that, so that's really good. And sometimes we really like to see people struggle to know that they are able to manage those stressful and difficult situations. That really tells us a lot about the trader. This took 10 trading days to finish this FTMO challenge. Max daily loss and max loss are both halfway there, and profit target, well, pretty standard. Once more, there is really nothing unusual here. This time there are quite many positions executed, especially when you consider that this was just 10-day trading period. So this is 118 positions executed using a lower volume of 71 lots. Win rate is around 50%, slightly under, and the average risk reward ratio is 1.9. I actually think that these are quite nice numbers together. Win rate of 50% and average risk reward ratio of almost 2 seems to me pretty good. So we have seen that dip that wasn't really that nice in the beginning of the trading period. So these red numbers are pretty much that. But from that point on, there are 3 huge days for this trader, which really made those profits and made this account successfully finished. Volume per position is quite low, as you can see here. What I really like here, though, is that stop losses are basically set all the time, with an exception of this position right here. But this wasn't really significant, as you can see. This is a day trader for the most part, and the volume per position sometimes is the same. I think that this trader is averaging the prices, so I think that's what it is. Selling is way more profitable than buying, but buying is profitable as well, and gold just makes more than half of the profit. British pound and Japanese yen is significant here as well, so basically this is a specialization on gold and GJ. So yeah, I'm really happy to see specialization once more. It's always better to focus and narrow down on few markets and really focus and double down on them instead of watching like 20 different instruments. Or at least that's my opinion. So when we look at some verifications, this one is for $100,000 on swing account type. This is even more of a roller coaster than those challenges. There are many spikes and dips, not really huge ones, but quite many, and there aren't that many trades executed, especially when you consider that this trader had 60 days to finish this trading period. And this took just 38 positions to finish this verification. This took 10 trading days. Max daily loss is not an issue here, and neither is max loss, not at all. Profit target is nothing out of ordinary. So 38 positions using just 26 slots, so that's not a huge volume really. And the win rate is quite a nice 76%, but average risk reward ratio is not really that nice. It's 0.68. Of course, this is a swing account type, so you cannot really expect to see the same consistency that you would see on a day trader's account. So the profits are split mostly into 3 trading days, and that's right here rather, then 23rd of September, and then first trading day. And of course, the single most important day for this trader was 28th of September. So there was profit of $4,174. So perhaps there was some key information that this trader was waiting for, but we don't really know that. Now, when we look at the trading journal, we can see that this trader trades actually gold, Bitcoin, then some indices. Unfortunately, there are no stop losses set up for some reason, but what can you do? as long as it works. And this also explains why you don't need that high of a volume to make an impact, because when you're trading indices, half a lot is clearly enough. You don't need to open like 5 lots to make some nice profits. And in this last section, selling is most profitable once again, and buying is profitable as well, but clearly not as much. And the single most profitable instrument here is US 30 index. So there is still specialization on those indices. Then there is some gold traded, but not really as much. So once again, I think that we are looking at a specialist. So this was quite interesting. Now, if there is one thing that I would improve, it would be those stop losses, because there are no stop losses at all. This verification is for 160,000 euros on FTMO account type. And oh boy, for the most part, this trader was operating at a loss, which is clearly not good, but after trade number 37 or 38, he went into green numbers, which is great. And after 51 trades, this verification was successfully finished. This took 10 trading days. Max daily loss was getting somewhat close to being breached. There was still like 1,500 euros to not breach it, and max loss is not an issue here really, and profit target is once more pretty standard. So volume of 191 lots was executed on 51 positions. Win rate is over 50, which is great. It's 57%, or rather almost 57%, and the average risk reward ratio is 1.12. So with both of these numbers, there is some room to improve, but there always is, right? But together, these work just fine. So in the daily summary, we can see green numbers for the most part, which is great. Those first 2 days aren't really that successful, unfortunately. But in the end, it looks like the volume and the profits are split quite nicely across all days. So that's something that we really like. And again, we can see that this is perhaps a gold specialist. This time, this trader is using stop losses all the time, as far as I can see. Take profits as well, with an exception of this day right here and this day right here. There isn't a single swap being paid, so it's a clear day trader. And otherwise there is nothing out of ordinary. Interestingly enough, this time selling is profitable, but buying is not. And the single most profitable instrument here is Australian dollar and US dollar, followed by gold. This time there are 2 instruments that perhaps this trader could consider avoiding. And that is USD and Japanese yen and Euro Canadian dollar. But other than that, this is just fine. So I really like that there is some nice consistency, especially when you look at the daily summary. And yeah, I wish this trader the best of luck on the FTMO account. And this is the last account that we are going to look at. This is for $100,000 on FTMO account type. The start isn't really all that great, but this is just one trade, so that's fine. And other than that, there is a steady growth, with an exception of this trade from here to here. This is quite a spike, but once more, that's fine. Finished in 10 trading days. Max daily loss wasn't even close to being breached, and neither was max loss, and these are actually both the same numbers. In this case, profit target is quite nice, because there is $130 more than was required. So that is always great to see. Executed just 22 trades on 19 lots, so that's not really as much. The win rate is 68%, and average risk reward ratio is 2.3, almost 2.3. So I have to say that I really like these numbers together, but at the same time, this is not really that huge of a sample. If this was like 1,000 trades and these numbers were the same, now that would be really interesting. Unfortunately, there are some trading days that aren't really as significant, but on those that are important, there are some nice profits made, so that's nice. And it's worth noting that there isn't a single day that would be really bad for this trader. So when I said that there isn't a huge volume traded, it's because there are, once again, just indices basically. There is a Bitcoin, so for these types of instruments, you don't need a huge volume. What I really like here is that there are basically stop losses set up all the time, so that's just great. And other than that, this is pretty standard trading on indices. Selling is more profitable than buying, but both are profitable. And the most important instrument here is US 30 index, followed by DAX. So today we have seen many specialists, and this is absolutely one of them. So if there is one thing to take away from this video, it's that you should perhaps narrow down your instruments to just a few. But as always, this is just my opinion, and it's always up to you how you wanna trade. And with that, this is the end of the video. So if you traders have any feedback or any questions, you can leave them down in the comment section. Subscribe to our FTMO YouTube channel and follow FTMO on all social media. And as always, trade safe.